There used to be a time, not even long ago, that cars could easily get the better. Cars can be so stupid, can't they? And yes, their drivers can be pretty dim too. Which gets them into a position where they only can... Well, it won't help, will it? But the clever car will listen.
Contact.
And it will learn as many languages as it needs. It will save you time. And if something is about to go wrong, it will save you money as well. And it will talk back.
Niveau d'essence minimum.
The clever car is on its way. In fact, around the turn of the century, electronic components will make up a third of the manufacturing cost of a motor car. In a giant European effort under the Eureka project, the Prometheus program will coordinate the expertise of 13 manufacturers to make sure that the clever car will be heading confidently towards success. Within this context, Philips will soon make cars even more clever. A part of the Prometheus program is second-generation CarIn, the car information and navigation system. CarIn will make driving less strenuous, less costly, and above all, a good deal safer. CarIn is technically complex, but easy to use, and the principle is not difficult to explain. What you basically need is an instrument that can work out the car's position at any one time, plus a computer that knows all the roads and streets in a certain area and is capable of finding the quickest, the shortest, or for instance, the most scenic route. Now look what happens when a CarIn user gets into his car. This is the map, digitally stored on a compact disc, just like the ones we use for stereo sound. Now, the driver keys in the position where he is and the place he wants to go. CarIn has by now selected a route and stored it in its memory. As the car drives away, CarIn starts to monitor its every movement. There are two sources of information. One is a compass indicating the car's heading relative to magnetic north. The second is a pair of wheel sensors. They count the number of revolutions of each wheel, which enables the computer to calculate the distance driven. When the car rounds a corner, of course, the outside wheel will cover a greater distance than the inside wheel. These data help to work out the new heading. CarIn's heart is in its computer. It takes in the information from compass and sensors and matches it to the digital database. As this contains the map and the planned route, the computer is able to guide the driver to his destination using arrows and pictograms on an LCD display, in addition to instructions spoken by a synthetic voice. The computer is smart enough to know that the system is subject to minor errors. The compass, for instance, can suffer magnetic interference from electric railways or steel structures, such as a bridge. Although it may already know where these are from the database, it will continuously check whether its calculations tally with the map reference and will correct errors as they appear. CarIn is your trusted companion on the road, guiding you safely to wherever you want to go. The first version of CarIn was introduced in 1984. It was shown working aboard a delivery van, and then, just as everybody became interested, CarIn seemed to go into hibernation. This got some people worried and even suspicious about its vitality. But CarIn was taken out of the public eye on purpose, and with good reason. Being a pre-development prototype, CarIn 1 was bound to undergo a multitude of changes. And it seemed only right that, with feasibility proven, CarIn should be allowed to come into its own in peace and solitude. This quiet development stage involved a thorough update of the system as new technology became available, but above all, a fundamental reassessment of the way Karon should be used. The map on the screen, for instance, had to go. It would distract the driver's attention far too much, and we now use better ways of guiding him along the route. The screen is still there, but it only lights up when the car is at a standstill, which is a lot safer. In the trusted hands of scientists, Karon has been given the kiss of life. It is a very special kiss. It stands for keep it simple, integration, keep it small that is, software improvement, and safety first. This is the KISS car. Its Karon incorporates all the improvements that were needed. Karon has grown smaller, for instance, a smaller disc player, a smaller handheld keyboard, smaller circuitry, of course, and a smaller display. It has grown sideways, though. There is an extra LCD screen showing just an arrow to point out the way, so there's no need to look at the map. It's got a nicer voice as well.
Take third exit at roundabout.
Now sounds like this.
Take third exit at roundabout.
The memory has improved too. Both random access and read-only have been doubled, and that allows for Karon to know even more precisely where you are. But although Karon is fully operational as it is, the KISS cars are not demonstrators. Some are laboratories, and as labs do, they contain very sophisticated test equipment. These tiny television cameras are not standard Karon equipment, nor is the extra speedometer on the dash. They will be used later to evaluate Karon's performance in order to weed out all the system's gremlins before Karon hits the market. Now let's see how theory stands up to practice. First of all, we have to load the disc, which is a perfectly straightforward operation, identical to loading an audio disc. Where are we now? Here, Kramerstraat. And we want to go to Westdijk. All clear? That's all. Off we go. As the car pulls away, the screen goes blank. We don't need to see the map all the time because the computer's voice will tell us what to do.
Take second turning right.
Well in advance, of course. And the little arrow will point the way. We're almost there.
Take first turning right.
And there we go. By the way, if there had been a tailback here, the system would have known about it from data transmissions hidden away in an ordinary radio program and would have rerouted us around it without us even being aware. As we are driving along, our progress is under permanent surveillance. Remember the 3 cameras? They're not part of Karon, but what they register will be used, back in the lab, to make Karon better and safer. It's a clever bit of engineering. Camera 1 looks at the stretch of road in front of us, plus that extra speedometer on the dash. Camera 2 is trained on the LCD display, where the arrow points out where we have to go. And Camera 3, finally, registers the driver's eye movements via the rear view mirror. All these camera signals end up on the same tape for simultaneous viewing later on. And there is something extra on the tape. Interwoven with the camera pictures, riding electronic piggyback, is the map from Karon's memory, which we haven't seen because the screen was off. Look, there it is, here and on the videotape. Viewing and, above all, interpreting the recordings takes considerable expertise, just the thing for Philip's research lab. They're watching this morning's tape. How often does the driver look at the LCD screen?
Okay, first turning right. First turning right. That's a good moment. Yes.
Is he anticipating a change on the display that came 10 seconds later, causing 10 seconds of distracted attention?
Take second turning left. Then. A little bit too long, yes. No? Yeah, much too long.
And did the spoken instruction appear at the right time?
Left turn ahead. Left turn ahead. That's okay.
Too early, and the driver may forget what it was.
Too late. Yeah.
Too late, and he may panic and perform a turn without checking the traffic situation first.
To the right.
These things need to be absolutely spot on when Karon becomes available to the general public, because Karon's advantages, reduction of driver's fatigue, more purposeful use of the road, keeping out of traffic jams, all come down to that vitally important factor, road safety.
Left turn ahead.
This is Professor Erik Asmussen, traffic safety expert at Delft Technical University.
Well, in the first place, CarIn can give you the safe routes, actually. There's much difference between one route and the other as far as safety concerns. At the beginning it will be statical, but in future it will be dynamical. That's to say, it gives you the momentary information, whether there are queues or not. In the second place, it avoids such behavior. We all know this phenomenon, people who can't find the right street and so on. That can create very dangerous situations. I think it can avoid detours, which is very important too. It can give a very good estimation of the travel times, which avoid hurry. And we all know from research that hurry is a very dangerous situation for people. People take more risk. But very important is also the way the information is given to the people. We found out that only visual displays are actually too dangerous. It distracts the attention too much from people. So, in fact, you should give audio information as much as possible. And in addition to that, you can give visual information via a visual display. Another important thing is that even if you use audio information, the interpreting time should be as short as possible and just in time. That's to say, the right information on the right time.
So, a car information center incorporating Karon can indeed improve safety standards. But now that Karon has moved into top gear, do we have to wait long before it will appear in our cars? Karon project manager Leo de Waal.
That will be in 1990 in a professional application rather than a passenger car application, meaning that it will be used in an automatic vehicle location system.